Tanner Holmes, or Tanner Holmes, as Tony Bockoven always says correctly. Mate, you are a walking advertisement. You work so hard on this aspect of your racing.
Yeah.
At what point did you realize I can reach more people off the track than I can on it?
Yeah, probably. I mean, about 13 years old is when I started all this, and I don't think I probably realized what I was doing at that time. But I would say, probably the last two or so years is when things have really felt like they've grown. And I've kind of been able to be more on the level that we are. And we're not racing full-time nationally and whatnot, but we've definitely been able to be in front of more eyeballs. Running with Shark Racing last year and doing a much bigger schedule with my own car this year. So we've definitely grown a lot in the last 2 years. And like I said, things have kind of just changed to now where we are. So it's been really cool. It's been an awesome ride. It's allowed me to do what I do. I think people don't realize that. Like, if I wasn't probably doing what I'm doing now, I don't think I would be maybe necessarily here at the Knoxville Nationals or would have been in that Shark Racing car last year. Just like anyone, my path has kind of gotten me to where I am.
So many kids know you, like young people in particular who, have the TikTok and have the reels and, all that sort of stuff. What is your target market, Tanner? Is there anyone specifically?
No, I feel like it's actually pretty wide. It's funny, I always think it's kids, and then all of a sudden, I come to this and I have 50-plus-year-olds, coming up and speaking and saying how much they love all what we do. So I feel like we're pretty wide range in that sense. Mainly just want to get out to race fans and people that are wanting to get involved with the sport. I feel like we all kind of have a job to promote what we do. It's up to us. I think it's easy for drivers to want more, and we all want to be paid more, bigger purses, bigger events, bigger this, bigger that. But at the end of the day, that's kind of also part of our job, right? To create that and be a part of it. So that's just what we try to do. And, just trying to, especially in today's day and age, is there's so much for kids to, like I said, to do and be distracted from stuff like this. It's our job to try to get them involved and get them excited at a young age, because I don't think if you get them when they're young, it's going to be a lot harder to get them to stick around as they get older and, can be more involved in the sport, whether it's driving, whether it's as a fan, whether it's hands-on as a crew member. There's a lot of great ways you can view and be a part of the sport, not just like me in the driver's suit.
What is your most powerful medium out of all of them? The big guns, the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter. Like, where does it all sit for you? I
think most people find me on YouTube. That's where I use the most. But I have a pretty, really been a lot of emphasis on Facebook lately too, because I feel like there's a lot more of an older generation on there. So I hit those two the hardest and just try to post different content. Like, if you follow me on Facebook, you kind of get to follow a little more daily. My YouTube's a little delayed just because it takes so much into one video. But I try my hardest and try to get people, so like I said, they can follow along whether, whatever platform they find.
So the idea of people's attention spans, it's ever decreasing.
Yeah, in mine is too.
They just, you flip through so quickly and TikTok's a great example. Yep. I have friends who just literally, I don't know how they don't have a finger the size of their bicep because of the way they flick.
Yep.
How do you determine, how long is the most effective? And you study the analytics, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think for us, we really just try to create great content. I mean, yes, we do look into that, but, we're not always trying to create just to fit, I guess, what everyone's, well, I mean, we do and we don't, like I said, we just try to make what is the best content for us and what works, what works. But yeah, nowadays for sure, people are, like I said, they're on a video for 3 seconds and they're on to the next. So you do definitely need to catch people's attention. And a lot of that is just, like I said, trying to create engaging content that even if we post a video that's 15 minutes long, like, hey, we got to move through this and keep things exciting. And dirt racing is such an exciting sport too. So luckily we have something on our hands that we can do that, because there's a lot of things to talk about and there's, an action-packed night.
Tanner, a lot of people are into really basic things like unboxing.
Yeah.
Right. People are fascinated.
Yep.
Here's my new parcel. Here's my new package. Here's my new helmet. You notice that too, like with mundane little things, previously mundane.
For sure. Yeah, no, and that's one thing I didn't realize probably at first. Like, you just get so used to what we do, like what we're accustomed to as our normal. And like, there's going to be 20,000 people here, and most of them don't even really see the actual side of our sport. Like I said, the car washes and going, like I said, something as simple as I'll post a clip of us washing the car and people think that's amazing. Yeah. Washing, maintenancing, the grind, selling t-shirts, finding sponsorship. Like, there's a lot of avenues of our sport that the fans don't get to see. And they just see the glory. They see the guy that is going to win $190,000 tonight, and that's great, but there's 107 guys that are going to go home here disappointed and working towards next year or trying to figure out what their plan is or not even sure how they're going to make it happen. So, like, for us, we just try to show that, because the good, the bad, and the ugly is all part of our sport, and that's probably what keeps us going. That's why we love it. So for me, I just try to keep it real, because it's, you know, what we do is very real. It's very tough. You know, we're an operation that we're in the stages of building, and you know, and we're parked next to two very established operations. You know, Rico and Gio Selzy. These guys have been out here. They're doing it. And mad respect to them. They're at the top of this sport. So like, that's just where we're trying to get. We're trying to work our way there, and there's a lot of years and work ahead of us to get there.
Can you get more exposure off the track than on it? I mean, it's tough, isn't it? Because you still need to be successful, right?
Absolutely.
You still need to be a respected race car driver.
For sure. And like, for me, actually, you know, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I get a little, I want to be known. I do love what I do, and it's great that people know me from it. But I do want to be known as a great race car driver. So I work towards both. You know, I think both are on an equal playing field. I want to be the best race car driver, but if I can also do what I do in a way, then they're going to work together. So yeah, I mean, it comes in both ways. Like I said, racing's my #1 job, but along with it, I do what I do, like I said, to support it and make it happen. And you know, like I said, as it all, like I said, it all builds together. It's all like you have your different avenues, and if you can, you know, work on them all really hard, I think we can get to kind of where we want to go. So it's a long road, but we're working on it.
At what point is it a distraction, Tanner? Because let's face it, the guys parked alongside you are singularly focused on the cockpit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, people ask me that from time to time. I don't really ever look at it that way. Sometimes I think it actually helps me, because I have like a non-stop moving brain, and sometimes when I like sit and just like think about my racing and stuff, I don't know. I think I almost psych myself out. So I like to be moving. I have ADHD probably, and so I just non-stop going crazy. So yeah, to me, I've never really, I don't ever look at it like that. Like I said, it's just a part of how our operation has to go in a circle, so it's part of what has to be done, and it just means maybe sometimes I have to put work in other areas, like I said, to you know, maybe on my race day I'm not necessarily studying as much or whatever. I'm like, you know, that needs to be done at another time, ahead of time. My preparation just looks different, I guess. I don't know. So my race days are maybe a little busier than other drivers, but like I said, that's just how it is. That's how we've carved it out.
So how much presence do you need to have on the screen? Like I understand when you first came here, you were really excited and you had the camera pointed back at yourself and you were saying, wow, I'm finally here. How much is it that people need to see you, or can they be like, I'm doing this like this, right? Where the viewer is the point of view. How often do you shoot like that, or is it always with you as the focus?
It's mainly with me, and I feel like that's just because people, like, naturally, if they do watch my stuff and have watched it for the last 8 years, like, they've just connected to that's just the style that I chose. I think you can do it either way. Like I said, for me, I've just been more on screen, and I kind of use that because then I also, as I'm doing right now, I talk a lot with my hands, so I feel like I try to engage people that way. A lot of pointing and showing, and here's the track, here's, you know, or here, let's, you know, I mean, even though they can't actually see, but like, look at my fingers in print, that means, you know, how the track's tacky and there's a lot of grip. And so for me, I feel like a lot of it's just because that's just how I talk and demonstrate, and that's my style. But I also know a lot of guys do it other ways, and that works as well.
You're doing a great job, mate. Your profile is right up there, and the results on the track will come as well. But you're guaranteed, no matter what, you're going to hit eyeballs, you're going to hit devices, and you're pretty well the leader in doing this stuff, mate. So keep up the good work.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.